Right now I'm working on a remake for Grinning Ghosts. It's licensed for me to sell from Disney Music Publishing, and having a great time doing it. I want to present something a little bit different, just a different twist on it, and have some fun. Everybody's got lots of versions. When I started researching it, I found Weird Al, he's got a version of it, different people. What I wanted to do was take the old sound and maybe put some big fat, the big Danny Elfman type sounds under the newer sounds, make it sound a little bit like a movie theme. So I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So making a nice Halloween project out of it also.
And this will be ready in time for Halloween.
Yeah, it's going to be ready. It will be released in the dead center of October at midnight on October 16th. And if folks go to my website and they sign up for the club, which is basically just the email newsletter list, the people that are on that newsletter list that are collectors that like to get the good low numbers, so they have like 1 to 5 to 10, whatever, they'll have 24 hours in advance before the general public they can order theirs. Good stuff. That's the way I do them all.
Good idea.
And it's going to be a Halloween CD. It's divided up into the opening section is sort of a storyline where you hear someone walking up, and there's some hidden things in there too. They're walking up to the mansion, you hear them, and you can tell it's at nighttime, and if you notice the train that you hear is the same train that you'll hear at Disneyland, all those sounds, there's a lot of hidden things in there, so it's a lot of fun. So you're walking up to the mansion, you'll hear some of the familiar sounds whenever you go to the park, inside the mansion, etc. But I'm very careful. They have a strict set of rules I have to go by being an independent artist, licensing their music, and I stick to it. There's no gray areas. I keep everything the way it's supposed to be. So you will hear the 4/4 section with the chimes and bells going. You'll hear the narration, and then you will hear the wall section, and we come in with Grinning Ghosts. So that's what we got. Let me tell you how I did the project. It's a lot of fun. It was interesting. I put together the front section with the sound effects. Then I did the narration section with all the voices and the choirs, and then I come in with a chorus. When it came to Grinning Ghosts, what I did was download the original. I have it on one of my computers over here. We charted out all the parts. Some of the folks that I work with here in Las Vegas with the band Skid Rodeo, they came in. We actually have a great lady that is singing the female part. Tammy Graham, she was actually an Arista artist, had 2 hit records in the mid-90s on Arista, a country artist. Wonderful lady, great singer, and her parts are fantastic. Everything's sounding great. So right now where I'm sitting at the moment, we're about a week and a half before production is ending. I had everyone sing all the parts all the way through. Then we made all the ghost sounds, everything we needed to do that was in there. Then I went back over and I started playing the original when it came time to edit, and I would cut different parts out. What parts are in there, so you have all your answering parts. Some of these tracks are a little bit off, and this is normal in the music business when you do things like this. You do your first takes and you do your production, and your guys are already scheduled, and our singer's scheduled to come back in tomorrow. Few of the lines, he doubled the lines and they sound funny, so we're going to fix them up, but that's how you do it. You go step 1, step 2, and then you do all the rest of your production. So this is how the raw tracks, and this, no one will ever hear this. This is the only time you're going to hear this. There's no EQ, they're completely dry, and there's a few mistakes, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool, so have a record of that. So here's what it sounds like.
When you hear the knell of a ringing bell,
we've been playing where spirits dwell.
Restless foggy there lies,
Rising spooks of every size. When the cryptos creak and the tombstones quake, spooks come out for a swinging wink. Happy hearts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. Now don't close your eyes and don't try to hide, for a silly spook may sit by your side, shrouded in a dark disguise. They pretend to terrorize. Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize.
As the moon climbs high over the dead oak trees, spooks arrive with a midnight spree. Creepy
Parts are
creatures with
everywhere.
eerie eyes start to shriek and harmonize. Grinning Ghost comes out to socialize.
When you hear the knell of a raccoon bell, your spirits will
So fun. I haven't even listened to this myself all the way through. I've just been editing vocals.
Like a total jamboree, there's a simple rule that's compulsory. Mourners pay a token fee. Rest in peace, a haunting spree. So hurry back
with a lighter company.
Hurry back. Be sure to bring your death certificate.
So that is the work in progress. The final production hasn't even started. I'm just doing vocals. We gotta finish those up. Gotta do all the blends. I'm doing everything on it.
Everything's digital on you?
Everything is all digital.
Other than vocaling tracks.
Correct. Yeah. I did everything. I played the drums on it.
Who all does vocals for that?
Daryl Kane is the deep voice, the baritone voice you sing. You hear, he's actually a Las Vegas musician, has his own band, Daryl does, and he's a Texas guy. That was funny too. I'm from Texas too, you know, and he has all this, you know, the Texas, what do you call it, diction, dialect, or whatever, you know. He wouldn't say your, he'd say your. I go, no, you gotta say some songs, some words you just couldn't get out, but that's all right. It's like, well, you know, it's a different twist, a little different thing. It doesn't have to completely copy. And then we had Tammy Graham, of course, the girl who was singing, really great vocalist, and her husband is a drummer. I did all the drumming on this, but he's a great singer. He's one of the best singers for studio stuff here in town. And he's doing the guy parts and doing all the overdubs on there. And you know, we did that vocal session in only realistically about 4 hours. I mean, these guys are great. They're studio guys, and they go, okay, let's do that. Okay, let's take this next pass. And it's like, boom, 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 man. And this is, when I finished, we had like right around 200, a little over 200 vocal tracks, because some of the words you had to, they're such tongue twisters, but they're quick, very quick. When you're doing that much work, though, you always have mistakes. So I did schedule one more day to come back and clean everything up, so everything is right on track, you know. I have the same engineer that helped me tweak all the final production for you know, the Main Street Electrical Parade, my version of that. He's coming over. Kevin Brewer, and Kevin has a rock band here in town, and he's also one of the top engineers, live engineers too. The band, I can't think of the band he's working with running sound. He has his own band, but he has one that he runs sound for, and they did a tour. They went to Guam, all these different places recently. He's a great engineer. He's one of these guys that's so good with Pro Tools and Steinberg, all these things. So he puts a real nice spit shine on here, and he's gonna, you know, I don't do a lot of vocals over here. This is actually the first vocal project. I've done vocoders, but I've never done vocals because I'm a keyboard player. So I do a lot of tracks for other people. They might need tracks for country songs or for rock songs, or it could be anything, and they'll FTP me things, you know, like, or send me some MP3s, bring them by, and then I'll do their tracking. Done documentaries, you know, movie type stuff, you know, 9 minutes, hour and a half long, and I pop it in here into Cubase, or I'll use Sony Vegas, different things I use, and I do all the multi-tracking. So I do a lot of tracking for people, but I'm just now starting to do the vocal stuff. You know, been recording it for years in big studios, but never actually done it in my home studio. So having a lot of fun with that. Got to invest in a good mic so I don't have to keep borrowing from all my friends. But Kevin's going to get that really sounding great on the vocals as far as the EQs and just what we need to have that, you know. I'm not a bit afraid to call on good expertise, you know. I got a lot of friends in the business, and we trade out. So it'll be a nice project. And there's only 1,000 of them, too.
At what website?
Go to www.jiminy'slimitededitions.com. Jiminy is spelled like Jiminy Cricket. Jiminys, then the word limited, then the word editions. Jiminy'sLimitedEditions.com.
And after the Haunted Mansion, what's your next project?
You know, I don't know. First thing I got to do is take my wife on a vacation before I get fired from that job. I want to do the Country Bears, and then I want to do another I mean, it was the Country Bears, and I want to do another electrical parade project. One of those two, you know, the Country Bears, I could probably knock that one out too. It'd be a lot of fun. So it'll be one or the other, you know.
So what makes your renditions different than everybody else's so that the Disney fans should go out there and get it?
Well, I think, you know, there's a lot of different versions of a lot of songs out there. It's fun if you go see Weird Al and he does his version of it. There's some other versions out there. Mine, what I think will appeal to the Disney fans is it's done in that same style. And it's not, well, it's got some hidden things actually that you would recognize from Disneyland, from the Haunted Mansion. And I'm doing a few of the things that the musicians actually did when they originally recorded. I researched it. You know, they said they had him play it backwards. I got some of the reverse organ in on that section. You'd have to really listen close, but it's there. On the sound effects track, I'm going to take some of those hidden tracks. You know, there will also be another track with a half hour for Halloween sound effects, and I'm going to take some of the hidden things and put them in that. So if people listen to that, it'll help them pick them out from the first one too. So kind of a fun thing, you know.
Kind of like a treasure hunt for sound effects.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah.
Why Disney?
Why Disney? I tell you honestly why Disney, because for 35 years I've been a musician. I've always worked with serious artists on either on record labels or people that are just getting on labels, working on their deals, and everything has to be so perfect and so exact. And being a country musician primarily, you know, and then basing out of Texas, basing out of Nashville, and touring, I wanted something different. I wanted to be able to create something myself instead of creating something for someone else, you know. Taking the stepkids to Disneyland, and we had so much fun through the years going to Disneyland. I thought, man, this would be fun to do something like that. So it's like a fresh glass of water, you know. It's just really neat to do this, and I really gotten where I like it, and so I'm just gonna keep doing it. It's fun.